Hard work is pain and alignment is cash. So, who am I and why am I teaching you this? First of all, I was lucky enough to learn this lesson at 22 years old, and I used to struggle a lot. I mean, I'm working since I was 17. I used to work 12-hour days, and just basically hard work. And it was always painful. It was never aligned, never nothing. So all of this until I realized you can just manifest stuff into your life and it comes to you. You can just attract it based on who you are and what you do. And that's alignment, essentially. So today I want to share with you a few rules to the game of life, because that's all it is. Life is a game, it's not real. And 98% of people just completely fail at it, and they're going to have to do it over again. We're not getting into that today. Today I'm just going to show you how to basically get to what you want, because if you desire something in your life, it essentially means that you're already connected to it. You already have it to some degree because you can imagine it, and imagination is what creates your reality, but you don't yet feel it tangible. You just feel it that you could have it in the future. Maybe this could happen, maybe a miracle, maybe, I don't know, the sky falls and you get your thing, right? Well, that's not really how it works. You need to align yourself. And I'm going to share with you a few stories, principles. Then I'm going to give you the rules on how you can just make it happen always. So you don't, because here's the thing, if somebody just comes up to you right now and they give to you $100,000 cash, you are not going to feel like you have $100,000 because you're going to be always so scared. Oh my God, what if I lose it? Because if you lose it, you can't make it again. But what I actually want to give to you is what I learned from my mentors. And basically, once you learn this, you have so much certainty in your ability to be healthy, to manifest wealth, to manifest good relationships, that you never think about it again. It's just who you are. And no matter what happens, even if it all disappears today, you know who you are, you know what you can do, and you can make it all over again. Okay? So let's start with some stories. This is back in 2023, I think in May. Yeah, it was May, probably actually late April, but the story actually happens in May. So I was on a train in Romania, in Transylvania. This is where I'm from. And essentially, I was scrolling to TikTok, just being a normal NPC who was trying to make money but didn't have it. And I was scrolling and I come across this African American dude named Jonah, a biblical name. And I see he was live. And I had seen him a couple of times on TikTok talking about spirituality, the Matrix, escaping the Matrix and stuff like this. So that was kind of the whole trend, but he was like actually properly aligned to it. And I listened to him and I'm like, okay, for some reason, within my gut, I had this feeling that I have to go meet this guy. He was doing a meetup in London. And I sit and think about it, and I say, you know what? I will spend all my money and I'll go to London, I'll meet this guy. And not kidding you, when I came back from London, I was down to my last 7 euros, 8 euros, something like that, the equivalent of 8 euros. So I followed my intuition, I booked my ticket. I was really, even after I had taken the action, I was quite scared to just go about this, because I didn't really know, is it going to work out, is it not, is it something happening? I was trying to justify my action to my girlfriend, my parents, my business partner. Like, he's like, you're spending all of the money on this, and I'm like, yeah, I trust, I trust the universe. And essentially I get to this event, and there's a lot of weird people around, but I meet this guy. He's actually a really cool guy. We're still friends, we're still doing stuff together. And I also meet 2 other businessmen at the event. And then anyway, we chat a little bit, exchange information, and then we go about our lives. And I get a message from one of these businessmen, like a few days later. He asked something of me. And essentially what happened is that I went from having very little money in my account to 1 month later, so not in May, actually in June. May was the event. In June, I had received approximately 10,000 euros So I made my first 10K month. That was July 2023. And this was such a crucial moment for me. Like, I just saw like how fast your life can change. And literally June, I went to visit them, because we are now working together. I went to visit them, and I was in a penthouse in London. I think it was like the 30 something floor, like in Westminster, like right next to the river, and it was amazing. And we're just having dinner from some restaurant. And that's how fast your life can actually change when you actually change your states. And this is I'm going to get into the rules right now, because this ties into how you can actually make it. Now, what happened in my life, because it's funny, even though I had done a certain protocol, which I'm going to teach you, and I changed my life, so this essentially resulted in alignment, and this intrinsically meant cash. So I had made my first 10K month, euro. So this is more than 10K US, and I had lost it. Like not then, but a few months later. Obviously, you can't just spend 10K in a month after not having anything. And I traced myself back to the point where I just asked myself, like, what happened? And what had happened is I stopped the protocol. I did it up until a point. And when I saw the outer world, my reality changing to what I had visualized, I was scared, essentially. I wasn't prepared for it, because I stopped doing the protocol, and I had basically missed out on an opportunity to just shift my reality. Now, ever since then, I developed a lot, and I shifted so many times, like health-wise, relationships-wise. My face literally changed. Like, I'll show you probably as this YouTube channel goes on. I'll show you stories about myself and how I used to look like, how I used to feel, I have old videos of myself. It's crazy when I look at it. It doesn't even feel like I was the same person, and I'm not actually. So let's talk about the rules. So life is a game. It's essentially like a ultra high-tech simulation, a game, essentially. We don't know its purpose, we don't know where we're going, we can only assume, right? But the thing that stands out is that it's not real. There's lots of proof for this, and I'll actually do a separate video on this later on. But the thing is that it's not real, and most people fail it because you think that just because you can touch something, and you can feel a marker, that it's actually real, and it's not. You can change and you can shape everything in life according to what you want and what you envision, what you embody. So there are some rules to this game, and if you play by the rules, you are mostly guaranteed to have alignment. And I wrote cash because I know most people want money, but once you get money, you realize there's so much more you actually want other than money. You just think money is gonna somehow bring, and even now I have a lot of cash in the account, and I just care about other things. You don't care about this, So this is just, it's like Maslow's pyramid, So there's like a hierarchy of human needs. So basically, the first one is survival. And once you get survival, you essentially never think about it. So this is food, health, shelter, water, stuff like this. Once you get safety, you never think about it. Safety in the modern world is cash. So when you get cash, you don't think about it anymore, like beyond the basic level. If you keep thinking about it, then there's something wrong with you, And then you start thinking about other stuff until you get to the top of the pyramid, which is basically life, spirituality, Then you think about relationships, you think about having a family, having kids, because who in the right mind doesn't have water and you think about having a kid? Like, let's be serious, So that's essentially what happens. So back to this. Let's talk about the rules of the game. If you want to change reality, to shape it in the way that it will make you experience, because that's all it is. You want to experience a different side of reality than you're currently experiencing. Okay? So either you want money, you want health, you want love, relationships, you want something else. Whatever you want, you need to align yourself with it. So in order to do that, rule number one, what you assume becomes your reality, okay? So what do I mean by this? I mean that if you assume that something good generally happens to you, that if you assume you're generally a lucky person, good stuff happens to you, and the world is fair to you, guess what? That's what you're actually going to experience. Some people say it's delusional, some people say it's no, that's not how the world works, but it is. You know, if you assume life is a battlefield, if you assume life isn't fair, and all you have to do is fight for stuff you want, and you have to work hard, and that's pain, that's what it's going to be. So when you want something, you have to assume that you already have it. So, but you can't just assume it on a conscious level, you have to do it on a subconscious level, because that's what actually creates your reality. You don't create it consciously, you create it unconsciously, okay? So there's different aspects of the mind, we're not getting into that, but there's basically ways to reprogram your mind. This is tied to rule one, okay? So if you reprogram your mind in a right way, essentially you can just manifest without doing nothing, okay? So we're going to get into the reprogramming your mind in a bit. I'm going to show you the techniques I still use, and they're great. They are the simplest. I tried affirmations, I tried coaching sessions and paying people a lot of money, nothing worked. You know, I will show you what worked for me. I cannot guarantee it will work for you, but I can guarantee you that if you try stuff for long enough, something sticks. You know, like there's a saying my first mentor, Tai Lopez, taught me, is that if you just throw stuff at the wall, something is going to stick eventually. So you try business, it fails, you try another one. Okay, you don't stop, because that builds up momentum, and at some point you'll succeed. Okay, back to this. So what you assume becomes your reality. In order to change your reality, you must first change your state. What state am I talking about? I'm talking about your inner state, okay? So if you feel something inside of you, inside of your being, you can visualize it so vividly that at some point it's going to come outside, because it's like a thought form, an energy bubble forms, and it just goes out into the universe, who plans all things. And then at some point it comes to you. The only reason people don't realize that your inner state creates your external reality is that because there's a time factor to it, you know? So if this is an energy bubble that then creates your reality, this is time. So as time goes on, say, I don't know, 6 months, you imagine something, and then in 6 months you have it. People just, by the way, excuse my handwriting. This I'm genuinely doing my best, but I hope you can bypass this for the sake of the valuable information I'm sharing with you. So people see this in, I don't know, July, and then in January, when they get their thing, they think, oh, it must have been because of something I just did 3 days ago, which is absurd. No, you did this, you launched it basically into the universe, into your reality, and then it shifted. And you cannot trace this because there's a time factor to it. But if you look at it, whatever you actually feel, it comes back to you. Some say it's karma, some say it's, you know, written in astrology, numerology, whatever you choose to believe. This is how it works. Quantum physics starts to show this. So this is true. And number 3, do not give it importance. Why? Whenever you put something on the pedestal, you know, like that feeling if you're a man in high school and you don't have a girlfriend and you want a girlfriend, and basically no girl is looking at you. So they're chatting with you, but they're not falling in love with you, you know? So if you're really attractive, perhaps you don't have that experience, but I had it, you know? And then as soon as you get a girlfriend, all of these women just start liking your post, they start talking to you, they start, you know, following you and stuff like this. Why? Because you no longer give it importance. And there's a subtle energy change, pardon my English, energy change that happens when you don't give meaning to stuff. I was in a meeting with a client, Actually, this office where I'm recording this right now, I rented it from apparently a very wealthy guy in our country. So, and it amazed me that he came himself. It wasn't like a real estate agent or somebody else. He just dropped the key to me, and he said like, "What do you do? Come, let's work together." And I'm like, "Okay, this is what I do. I actually have an AI business." And essentially, he said, "I want to work with you." And I asked him like, "Why?" And he said, "But I don't know. You just give me like such a trustworthy vibe because it looks like you don't value money. You don't want to take stuff from me. You just want to give to me. So people feel it, especially at the highest levels of life. They feel if you just go into a meeting with a client and you want to, oh, I really need this money. You're thinking that inside your head, they're going to feel it. Like your subconscious projects that onto life, and you're never gonna get it. So if you want something, you must not give it importance. If you want love in your life, don't give it importance. If you want money in your life, don't give it importance, because what happens, you think about, oh, I need money, and that's what happens. You just need it. You never have it. But when you think I have money, I'm fine, then you just have money comes to you. That's how it works. Okay? So that ties into detachment. Okay? So this is what I wanted to share with you. Now, let's go over the reprogramming and then I'm going to give you a protocol, because I want to share this. This is basically like everything you need to have stuff in life, like to just master the material side of life. This is everything you need. Just rewatch this if you didn't get it, but you can essentially change your life, and very quickly. 6 months is a lot of time. If you do it right, you can probably do it in like 2 or 3 months. But I'll tell you this, it took me probably 5 years to learn this, because I learned it alone. If I had the right mentor, because I tried having mentors, but I had a poor choice in people, I'll tell you that. And obviously, if you get a mentor, never ever think that they are perfect in all their life. If you want a business mentor, just listen to them on business. If you want a relationship coach, just listen to them in relationship, because most likely there's like a human bias where if you see somebody is good at football, you see they're the best, you just assume that they're the best at everything else. No, they're not. Trust me. Okay. So if you get a business coach, just take their business advice. If you take, fitness coach, just listen to their fitness advice. Don't take relationship advice from a cook, and don't let your business coach tell you how to cook. Okay. But this is everything you need. So let's go into reprogramming. So I ranked them by their order of effectiveness, and what I've seen works for me. You should try it out. So number one thing I've seen just shift me as quickly as possible and as effortlessly as possible is sleep reprogramming. So how it works is that you sleep in a not a usual position. So if you sleep on your side, just sleep on your back, and you put on some headphones, preferably over ear, because the in-ear ones are not that healthy. And you put over your headphones and you play basically a track over and over again. What I did actually is there's if you go on YouTube and you search for them, there's like Neville Goddard meditations, like sleep meditations. And basically, as you fall asleep, there's like a window between your waking state and your sleeping state. That in that window, if you can feel yourself to have something, you just fall asleep thinking not of it, but from it. You see it like you watch these POVs. I got the Meta Ray-Bans. I record stuff to show people like POV of how stuff actually feels like, and you just see it, and you feel it, and you're giving thanks for it, and you're grateful for it, and then that can manifest easily into your life. Now, second thing, this I learned from a guy on YouTube called Jack Hopkins, Absolute G. So you essentially write down your dream day in detail, like all the details. So I am living in a house in, Vienna, wherever you want to live, Thailand, Bali, London, penthouse, whatever you want. Okay, so I'm living in a townhouse in Vienna, and I wake up and at 6 a.m. and the sun shines on my Egyptian cotton black bed, and there's a girl next to me, and I have a shower, then I go run 8 miles, and just heavy detail, describe your day, and then every morning and every night you just visualize it. You read it out loud or in your mind, or you actually, what I did, I recorded myself. Actually, I did an AI that just, you just plug in your dream day and it comes up with a meditation. So if you want that, just DM me, I'll give it to you. But I'm not trying to sell you stuff, this is for free. And there's an AI that basically you just plug in your dream day and it generates a 3 to 5 minute visualization with like binaural beats on the background. And you put your headphones and then just relax, and every morning and every evening you listen to it and you see yourself living that life, And what this does is that it brainwashes you to think that that was actually your day. You think of it as a memory. And when you can start to think of it as a memory, essentially it just manifests in your life, okay? Number 3, take naps. So this is tied to sleep, but sleep you usually do only once and you want to rest. So what also worked for me is like after I ate lunch, I usually just lay on a couch and take like a 30-minute nap with the same thing about the dream day or sleep or whatever you're trying to manifest. But these are what worked for me in terms of reprogramming. And a certain visualization you can actually tie into all of this is when you're visualizing, most people think of stuff, so you think from the outside, it doesn't really feel yours. You don't actually feel the ownership of stuff. So what I did is that I had created a certain scene that I used to envision of my father congratulating me, or 2 people, whoever's closest to you, like your girlfriend, your friend, your business partner, just saying like, congratulations, I knew you could achieve X, or like if you wanted to be healthy, wow, you got such nice abs, or you, oh wow, this is a nice Porsche, when did you buy it, or stuff like this, and just have that scene circling over in your life. And you can experiment with all of this. I might do in detail breakdown of reprogramming your mind if that's of interest to you guys. But now what you need is a protocol. So essentially you start with a dopamine detox. Dopamine detox is really important. If your brain right now is pumped up by, I don't know, TikTok, watching whatever you're watching, corn, I think they say it. If you're, I don't know, your mind is just so agitated and there's just so many thoughts in your head, you need to do a dopamine detox. What do I call a dopamine detox? I do it the extreme way. I still do it once a month. So for 24 hours, usually a Sunday, it's best. Don't eat, just fast. Don't eat. If you have to eat, if you can't fast for that long, which you should be able to, just don't eat comfort food. Just eat like salad or fruit or stuff like this. Drink water, that's what you're allowed to do. You're allowed to journal and read books, but don't watch TV, don't touch your phone, don't, what else could you do? Don't stay on your laptop, no devices, no nothing. You're allowed to talk to people in real life, not on the phone, like how people actually used to talk to people. You're allowed to do that and just do it for 24 hours. I promise you, when Monday morning hits, and also go to sleep early, don't lack sleep when you do this. When that Monday morning hits, if you do this on Sunday, you will be a new person. You will have so much willpower to shift and change your reality that you won't think it's real. And if you're asking how can you do basically these techniques without electronics, get a second phone. I have like a small old iPhone that I just never connected to Wi-Fi and data or stuff like that. I just plug in my recordings over there and I put my headphones in. That's how I do it. So you're allowed that as long as there's no social media, there's no internet, there's no notifications, nothing to give you dopamine boost, essentially. And then for 7 days, morning and evening, you just do your visualization. So you visualize, you go to the gym. This is actually really important. Your mind cannot function at its highest capacity unless your body is tired. So that's basically, even in India, the yogis, they have certain rituals that if they see that you are like really rested in your body, they just tell you to go do 6 hours of labor work and then you go to meditate, because you can't actually sit still and think about stuff or not think about stuff and meditate or visualize until your body is tired. So if you're lazy, just go to the gym, or if you're, I don't know, you're fat, you can just work out 6 times a week. Do walks, long walks, 1 or 2 hours a day. You have to do your steps anyway. And yeah, just tire your body every day, because otherwise you're not going to be so productive. Sleep with no alarm. This is very important. If you wake up and the first feeling you get is like, oh shit, your day is essentially fucked. So first 5 minutes of your day and last 5 minutes of your day are really important. You need to go to sleep in a good state and you need to wake up in a good state. What I actually used to do when I was reprogramming my mind, I was living in my parents' house, I had planted on the ceiling of my bed, essentially, be grateful, God gave you a new day, or something like that in Romanian. Whatever you want to do. So make sure the first thing you see and hear, essentially, if you need an alarm, like you have to wake up early, just choose like a nice song, like an inspirational song, like this piano or violin songs, and put them on. Okay, and now just basically do all the reprogramming techniques. Okay, so let's write reprogramming. Yeah, so do all the reprogramming techniques, and this is your protocol. If you do this 7 days, I'm telling you, in 7 days your life is going to feel different, you're going to be a different person, and whatever you choose to align yourself with will happen, So it's not going to happen in 7 days, but you will. When I say it will happen, is that this is what I mean will happen. You will form such a powerful energy bubble of presence, of just having what you already think about, that it will be sent out. Once it's sent out, it's coming. So just imagine like you're putting in an order on Amazon or whatever you order your stuff. If you place an order and you pay for it, and this is the payment, you pay for it, you don't ever think about like, are they actually going to send me my order? Like I gave them $100, but will they send me my PC or my books or whatever you order? No, you just wait for it. It's like, okay, it's coming sometime. The best analogy I think is when you order stuff from China. Like if you ever bought something from China, it takes like between 2 and 20 weeks to arrive, because why not? That's the best analogy, because you know it's coming, but you don't really know what day it's coming. So you just wait for it. That's how you should feel. You should feel like you've done the work, and if you're trying to manifest something, you're just waiting for your universe, your God, or whatever you believe in, to show it into your life, to show you the right opportunity, and you will feel it, and you'll go for it, and it will be great. So guys, this is basically what I wanted to share with you. Remember, hard work is pain, alignment can equal cash, health, love, happiness, whatever you want. So always go for alignment. Life is not real, don't give it importance. Change your state and assume you already have it. Reprogram your mind and follow the protocol, and you'll be fine.